Port Everglades, a major economic driver for our local economy, is one of the leading gateways when it comes to international trade in our nation. With more than 7 million tons of cargo from 70 countries arriving and departing from the port each year, it's why Port Everglades is one of the busiest container ports in the United States. With its unique geographic location and modern infrastructure, these rankings are only expected to rise. And now Port Everglades is investing in our future. With more than $1.5 billion invested in cutting-edge infrastructure improvements, this creates jobs and brings more business to our region. Here's a look at those projects and why they're essential for Florida. Expanding the turning notch for additional cargo berths, new, larger Super Post-Panamax gantry cranes, deeper and wider navigation channels, a modernized petroleum slip, and a new parking garage for cruise passengers. These are just a few investments that Port Everglades is making to help its customers expand and succeed, keeping Florida's future bright.
We've had progressive growth in both the container side of the business as well as the cruise side, and we project those to continue to grow.
Florida is our nation's third most populous state, and with its projected future growth, the port is a lifeline for daily necessities. Food, automobiles, consumer goods arrive here. Ranked #1 in Florida for perishables and #5 in the United States, Port Everglades is a gateway for trade with Latin America.
I think what's important for people to think about Port Everglades in terms of doing business here is the ease of doing business with the port. The vision the port is having of being in forefront of developments, and not the least the geographical location of the port in terms of population density in Florida.
A short entrance channel, connections to the nation's highways make the port a go-to choice. The strategic and technological improvements now underway will keep waterborne commerce flowing well into the future. The expansion of the Southport turning notch from 900 to 2,400 feet and the addition of new high-tech support post-Panamax gantry cranes will increase cargo throughout and the number of ships that the port can handle simultaneously.
They're 20 feet taller, so they can lift higher, and they can lift heavier containers, so it gives us a lot more capacity than we currently have.
Also on the horizon is the Deepwater project with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. A channel depth extending to essentially 50 feet will allow ships to arrive and depart with more containerized cargo capacity. In addition, a narrow section of the channel will be widened so cargo ships can pass cruise ships safely along the intercoastal waterway.
The Turning Notch project will add about 730,000 additional TEU capacity to the ports. When you factor in the dredging, you can add approximately 200,000 more additional TEUs. So over the 20-year period, it's evident to be able to double its capacity in terms of containerized cargo volume.
Well, the infrastructure that we're investing in, and more importantly, the infrastructure that our tenants are investing in, will lead to future, more efficient, more cargo throughput, and more jobs.
Port Everglades has a very clear vision of where we want to go as a port community. That's based on the master plan. And the master plan sets forth very clear goals and objectives, and also a very well-structured capital allocation. I think the analysis on where to put your money is very important so that the port really invests in activities and infrastructure that it's going to add value to our customers.
Providing more than $34 billion of economic impact to Florida, the port's mission is to provide local, statewide, and national jobs. That's why Port Everglades, a self-funded enterprise, constantly monitors market conditions and continually updates its master plan.
We import wines and spirits from across the entire globe, as far away as Australia, New Zealand, the Orient, Japan, all over Europe, the Mediterranean, South America. Having these containers come into the port and to be able to handle it efficiently is extremely important to us. And then on top of that, the great working relationship that the port has with U.S. Customs allows our containers to be received in and cleared on a timely basis. This is extremely important to us because it allows us to get product to the marketplace quickly, it allows us to service our customers and for them to not be out of stock when that customer walks in and wants to buy that fine Bordeaux from France.
45,500 of the reds, and then 5,000 the blacks, which are hard to see.
Equally important to the port's growth is a robust and innovative environmental stewardship program.
We look at our investments that we make, we take into account the environmental impact and how we can mitigate for that impact.
The port planted more than 16 acres of mangroves and other native vegetation that has been deeded to the state and is being managed by the South Florida Audubon Society. Corals growing in the area were relocated as part of the expansion efforts.
The port will be watching and maintaining those corals over the next several years to make sure that they flourish.
And the port took a leadership role, participating in a baseline air emission survey, partnering with the EPA.
It was the first study of its type in a port environment, and that study is actually being used now as sort of a base or a pilot for other ports to do a similar study.
These infrastructure investments and additional cutting-edge technology will ensure Port Everglades remains a maritime industry favorite while providing for Florida's future economic needs.
To allow cargo to leave the port to connect into other parts of the state is a huge advantage for any potential customer that would be thinking about coming to Port Everglades.